Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcast on a Stick, the only podcast on a stick at GAMA Expo. I'm here with Manny Trembley, amazing game designer, artist. First question we ask everybody, what are you most famous for in the board game industry?
Well, myself and my friend Nate Chatelier, we created Dice Throne.
Okay.
So we created that in 2016, launched our first Kickstarter in 2017, and that has just grown and grown over the last 7 years.
I was hoping that was going to be your answer, because if there was something else you felt like you were more famous for, I was going to be real out of the loop here.
Nope, that is it. That is it.
So Dice Throne has gone through a ton of evolutions. So we're currently Season 1, Season 2, Marvel, and X-Men.
Now X-Men, yep.
Now, I have seen in the online forums and just the stuff on there, questions about whether it's going to come back out of a licensed IP to more original characters. Is that something you can answer?
Yeah, actually, we have responded on like Facebook saying the next product is not an IP-based product.
Awesome. So is that going to be a Season 3?
I mean, it's more Dice Throne. That's the best answer.
It's more Dice Throne. Okay, yes, I'll take that.
It is not Marvel. It's not whatever. It's our stuff, but it's more.
So was that the first game you designed, or is there something pre-Dice Throne that?
Yeah, I had never previously helped design a game before.
Okay.
I had done art for games, War Machine, if you're familiar with that, as a tabletop game. It's kind of like Warhammer, different genre. I had done concept art for sculptures and minis, but that's all I had done prior to that.
Okay. How did you get in? What's your art back? Because your art is fantastic. Like your art is phenomenal. It was, as soon as I saw Wroth, I knew, and I love being able, like the further you get into this, it's so cool to be able to look at something and just know who did it. So you have a very distinctive and very the pictures of Wroth don't do justice to the vividness of that playmat on the table. It looks phenomenal. It does.
It really, really does. Neoprene has a special relationship with color.
Yep. And so, you did. I'm so excited to actually play that. It looks amazing. So how did you get into the art side of it? Or is that just something
I mean, I've been art kid my whole life. I wanted to be a Marvel comic book artist when I was younger. I spent 20 years trying to break into comic books. I ended up I've run 8 or 9 Kickstarters just for comic books that I made.
Okay. You have run
self-published. I have.
Okay, cool.
Starting in 2012, I think I've run 7 or maybe 8
Very
different
cool.
self-published books.
Are you just illustrating those or writing content also? Okay, awesome.
Write and draw.
Now, is that single series or standalones?
They're kind of standalone graphic novels. One of them is called Victoria Jr. It's about a little girl adopted by Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
So then there's like 3 books in that series.
Gotcha.
But they're not like sequential. They're just stories in the world.
Is there if someone wanted to check those out, are they still available, or are they kind of?
I have some copies in my house.
Okay, but they're not widely available.
No.
Okay. So here at GAMA Expo, can I talk about what I saw last night?
Of course.
Okay,
yeah.
That is public knowledge. So I played a game last night called Neon
Rain.
Neon Rain.
Rain. Yep.
Okay. So played a game called Neon Rain that spoke to me as a child of the 80s.
Nice.
It is a button smasher card game.
Yes.
All of the art is arcade artwork. You are literally playing the big round buttons and joysticks to fight and build up combos. So tell me about that, the evolution of that game.
Yeah, so after Dice Throne had started, one of my friends, Aaron Hine, and we decided to make a button mashing card game. So this is like 5-6 years ago when we made our first iteration of Neon Rain.
Okay.
And over time, we've just kind of slowly evolved it, worked on it. And then about 6 months ago, I kind of hit this moment where I was like, I think it's ready. I think it's time. And in this last 6 months, it's really gone into overdrive. It's become very smooth. The play is really nice, very lean, tight game.
It picked up real fast.
Yeah.
Like from a development side, everything you have on the icons and the little, I don't think I even read any rules. Like you gave a quick explanation, and then I turned around and taught it to Allison 2 minutes later.
Nice.
And I think I got everything right. So
sweet.
It's real fun. It's if you grew up at the arcade, it's going to be very nostalgic and plays very fast. And just I think you captured the franticness of like the combos and blocking the combos. Cool. And jumping back with the joystick, all that.
Yeah.
It captured well, I think, as well as you can capture in a card game. So I'm excited to see
Sweet.
that one.
Thank you.
What's the timeline on that?
We are looking at a Kickstarter campaign end of April.
Okay.
So we're coming up pretty quick on it.
And this will be your first game that is just you, not partnered with
Correct.
a publisher, just
Correct.
a Manny Trembley.
Yeah. So like when Dice Throne started, it was just Nate and I.
Right.
And we launched that campaign ourselves. We did all the work ourselves. So this is my first foray back into the world of small publishing.
Not partnered with Roxley or
nobody.
So you've partnered with Roxley on Dice Throne.
Yep.
And then Chip Theory for Wroth.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And what else? Was there anything in between that I'm missing?
Well, I
know you did the artwork for Radlands.
Yes, I did.
Also phenomenal.
I did half of the artwork for Radlands.
Okay.
I like to make sure people realize that.
Your touch is still very much in it.
Right. So Damian Mamalidi did the other half of the artwork, and he's incredible.
Okay.
Like he did all the camps.
Gotcha.
So anytime you see a camp, that's him. If it's a character piece, that's me.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's kind of a fun differentiation. And then Wonderland's War was the other game that I did the art for. And James Hudson, Druid City Games, they allowed me to like sit in on design and like give my opinion, but I didn't design that game. That was all a bunch of other guys.
Yeah, that was a Ben and Tim Eisner.
Yes,
also
Ben, Tim
Tidal
Eisner,
Blades,
Ian
Lee.
Moss.
They also have some cool games coming out, so we'll be talking to them in a separate podcast.
Awesome.
And then one other game currently that we've gotten to see that I think James has been posting about on social media is Mad Kalla.
Yes, Mad Kalla.
Tell us about Mad Kalla.
So that's actually, funny enough, that's another game that my friend Aaron and I built 5 years ago.
Okay.
That we have been slowly picking away at. And it recently got traction when I themed it Wonderland's War.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, this is really cool.
So what was it?
It was like an abstract combat game before.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar, because it just got announced, it's Mancala with Wonderland's War characters. You're going around the table. It's the tea party table.
Yep.
And you have card powers.
Yes, you have. If you've ever played Mancala, you pick up a pot of beads, you move them, and you activate abilities.
Yep.
It's very simple, but it requires kind of that chess-like mindset of thinking 3 moves ahead, figuring out what you're going to do. How do I mess up my opponent while doing more things?
Yeah.
But when I was like, ooh, this would be really cool if it was Wonderland's War. Then I went to James and I was like, I know you didn't ask for a game, but I have this idea.
Right.
And if I theme it Wonderland's War, I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
And he totally latched on and loved it.
And the artwork, again, is gorgeous.
Thank you.
As soon as we saw that, I messaged James like, hey, when you're ready for coverage, we have played hundreds of games of Mancala. And just watching Allison played it last night, I didn't get to. I'll stop by wherever you're sitting, hopefully, and get to play it.
I got it in my bag right now.
Yeah, so maybe after this, we'll play it. But that one, I'm really excited to see that one come out. Just something else in the Wonderland's War universe. And then seemed like a relatively simple, like, again, Mancala with some extra stuff. Not pure Mancala.
Yep.
It's got its own spin, but just simple game with a lot of depth to it. So very cool. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
It's been great to meet you here at GAMA Expo. Anything else that you've seen that you're really excited about that you want to share?
I think the biggest thing is I haven't been to GAMA since 2018-19.
Okay.
And this setup, super cool.
Yes.
Like this hall, that people can see it behind us right here. It's like a full-blown convention.
Yep.
But for retailers and vendors and stuff like that.
And quieter.
Yes.
There's
no casino. There's no smoke in the hallways. So
and for those you don't, GAMA used to be in Reno,
Yes.
and it was you had to walk through a casino to get to the convention center.
Yes.
So
that's kind of a highlight, actually, is being here. This is a great experience.
Yes. So, well, thank you so much for your time. I'm excited to hang out with you again, to play Mad Kalla, and to play a full game of Neon Rain with Allison. Love your work. Love your games.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's been a joy to meet you and hang out with you a little bit this week.
Awesome.
And thank you so much for watching. And this has been Podcast on a Stick. It is the only podcast on a stick at GAMA Expo. And we'll see if there's any other podcasts on stick at other conventions. But for now, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Who's sponsoring this?
I don't know.